You know what time it is. It's your favorite social media coach, Melle Howard. Coach Melle in the building with your favorite cool uncle, Uncle Flood, and they're going to take you inside the game. So sit down, relax, get your favorite beverage, and hang as they take you across the SWAT, especially in Southern University football and professional sports as they talk Monday Night Football here on Inside the Game. All right, let's get into it.
What's up? We are back for another season of Inside the Game. We are not at our it is Monday night. The days are confusing me. We are having some technical difficulties with Unc. So while people continue to compile and come into the show, just welcome back. We are excited to have another season of Inside the Game. Last season was our first season of doing this, so we're excited that all of you have continued to be here with us and continue to be a part of this show and a part of all the things that we have going as it relates to not just Southern University athletics, but athletics in general. So yeah, come all. Make sure you like and subscribe our YouTube page. We are waiting on Unc to get his technical difficulties right. It would not be a show or a season without Unc having technical difficulties. So we're going to give him a few seconds to chime in. But yeah, you guys come on in. We are back for season 2 of Inside the Game. I can't believe it's already season 2 of this show, but we're excited to be back. Hope everyone had a safe holiday weekend, a safe MLK Day, and all of that, because MLK Day is the only day we're acknowledging here on this show. So really excited for you guys to be back with us. Have some exciting things to talk about as it relates to college basketball, specifically SWAC basketball, as it relates to the upcoming SWAC football season. We have a college national football championship tonight, so we're going to try to be done and wrapping this up as quickly as we can tonight so that we can all watch Notre Dame and Ohio State go to battle. I am rolling with Notre Dame tonight. I think that Coach Freeman and team are destined for this. Ohio State is playing some amazing ball right now, but I think that Notre Dame is going to win tonight's game. It's going to be close. I think Notre Dame wins by like a touchdown. So I think it's going to be one of those back and forth things. But I mean, it's tough. Ohio State is playing really tough right now. So welcome in as you guys continue to come in. Welcome to season 2 of Inside the Game. Drop your predictions for tonight's national championship in the comment section. Notre Dame or Ohio State, who you got? We are waiting on Unc to get his technical difficulties in, and then we're going to hop right into the show. But yeah, so excited to be back with you guys for season 2 of Inside the Game. Hope you're staying warm. We are expecting some crazy weather over the next few days. So really excited to see the snow and see what it means, but also not looking forward to being snowed in for so long. They're telling us that we probably won't be able to get back on the streets until Thursday. Flight got canceled for DC Mardi Gras. So yeah, going to be an interesting few days here in Louisiana, but your boy cooked, got some shrimp and corned beef, got some pizza, got some wings, got some snacks. So I'm all prepared to be snowed in. Unc is clearly snowed in already because we were trying to get his laptop to work for us right now. So that's what we're waiting on. He should be joining us any second now. But yeah, drop your predictions for tonight's game in the comment section. Any other things, any other topics that you want to talk about for season 2 of Inside the Game. Really excited about Jaguar basketball. It is on fire. We are on fire. Had a interesting game this past weekend, but yeah, we're going to jump in and talk about all of that once we get our boy Unc on this show. Hopefully he gets here sooner rather than later and we get those technical difficulties figured out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being back with us for season 2. It is because of you and your support in season 1 that we are back for another season. So we look forward to your continued support of Inside the Game with Coach Melle and Uncle Flood. So we're going to give Unc a few more minutes, and if not, we're going to solo dolo this thing out. I hate doing shows solo, but if we can't get Unc in, we're going to solo dolo this thing out. So give us a hot second. Drop your predictions for tonight's national championship in the comments, and we're going to see if Unc is coming in. I'm gonna check on it right now, as a matter of fact. See if he can just connect with YouTube and see what that does or what that brings him. While talking to the folks backstage. Corn, Ohio State by 10. Let me see. Corn, I'm about to send you a. Let me see if they let you log into this show, Corn. Are you camera ready, Corn? Let me see, my boy Corn camera ready. I'm gonna bring him on here while we work through these technical difficulties. They're back there. They're backstage working, so hopefully it's coming soon. Ohio State by 10 is crazy. But no, Ohio State has been playing some inspired football. So they look really tough to beat, actually. They look very, very, very tough to beat as it relates to all the things. So, it's going to be an interesting game tonight. I hope Notre Dame pulls it off. I think one of the things that is interesting that we could start talking about as we wait for Unc, there's been some comments over the last few days as it relates to Coach Freeman's. So if Coach Freeman wins the national championship tonight, he'll be like the first Black coach or something like that to win. He was like the first Black coach to win a playoff game. And so there was some controversy around his comments around what that represents for Black coaches alike. I feel like, as someone who is like working in equity and diversity and Black and brown spaces, or advocating on behalf of Black and brown spaces, I feel like his response could have been stronger. But I think that his response was the politically quote unquote correct thing to say, and he kind of tried to take the moment away from not it being about him, but being about his team, as opposed to like the onus of what it is. And so there was some controversy back and forth with comments around what he said. So how do you guys feel about Coach Freeman's comments about what his representation as a Black coach means in the national championship? Folks on the one side of the hour talking about how he stopped ESPN from race baiting. Other folks in the Black community were like not really happy with his response. I think, unfortunately for us, when we get into these spaces, especially like powerful spaces, we often have to think about what is the politically correct thing to say. And I think for me, like, I think that representation is real and it matters. And so it's up to us to decide what are we willing to sacrifice. And I don't think that you take away from the moment from your players by saying, like, acknowledging the fact that as a Black coach, your trajectory in college football is different. And that's just a fact. Like, there's no such thing as it not being. It's a fact. Like, there is a such thing as all these Rooney rules and all of that. It was specifically put in place because Black coaches were not getting the opportunity to be successful at the highest levels. And so I think Coach Freeman should own that, and he should be proud of it. And I think he is, but I think that, he has that double-edged sword of trying to play politically correctness versus like what he's trying to do. I would love to know what you guys' thoughts about as it relates to Coach Freeman and his controversial comments around his identity and what it represents in the college football national championship tonight. Like I said, I think that, it could have been stronger, but I don't think that it was just necessarily just downright disrespectful. But I think he should own it. And I think he'll be asked about it again tonight, especially if they win. And so I'll be interested to hear what he has to say. And even today, he kind of like, in so many ways, doubled down on his comments. They asked him about, playing for this national championship on MLK Day and what that represents and whatever. But yeah, political correctness, especially in today's society, is insane. But it's also what we have to deal with. And I think especially as people in in high places as it relates to these situations. It's always interesting. So yeah, looking forward to that conversation. So it looks like Anka's having some additional technical difficulties. We have one of my friends is gonna join us shortly. Hopefully he's able to log on as well and talk about talk through some of these things with us as it relates to football. We So much has happened since we last was here. So we got transfer portal news. We have basketball. We have recruitment and commitments. We have championship parades that have happened. So much has happened throughout the day, and so just really looking forward to continue this conversation as we get our technical difficulties together. Again, stay warm, stay safe, and I think that I'll go ahead and start with game ball performances. And so for this week's game ball, as it relates to Coach Melle, I am giving my game ball to Coach Kevin Johnson and the Southern University basketball team. Man, if you have been paying attention to our basketball program, there have been a lot of questions, and people had a lot of questions about the hire. People had a lot of questions about the direction of the football team. Of the basketball team. And it has been really interesting to see what Coach Kevin Johnson in just his second year has been able to do with that program. They look good. There is exciting product being placed on the court, and there were a lot of questions, lots of questions when Southern decided to hire Coach Johnson. And so really interested to see where this team can go. Right now, bracketology already has them predicted to be a 15 seed, not traditional 16 seed that the SWAC has granted, but a 15 seed. And the bracketology as of late has them predicted to play Kentucky in the first round. And so if you know anything about me, Kentucky basketball is my favorite team. So if Southern and Kentucky just so happen to play each other in the first round of the NCAA tournament, I don't know how I'm going to mentally be able to sit through and watch that game. Obviously, Southern first before all, but I just will just not be able to understand how to deal with that. It looks like Unc is in the waiting room after 85 minutes. It's almost time for the game to kick off, but my boy has waited.
Man, look, and it was not my technical difficulty, okay? It was not mine. Everybody, the old man don't know how to operate stuff. Nah, it was not me. I'm not eating that one. It was not me.
That is exactly what I was telling the folks. I was between the snow and your age, Unc. I was like, yeah, he probably not gonna.
Nah, it was not the old man. I do this. I do this on the regular. I literally do this. So no, it was not me. I know how to use the StreamYard.
Well, listen, we are happy to have you here today. Thanks for being here. Obviously, welcome back. I was telling people, welcome back to season 2. We're excited that they're here. The reason that they're here, the reason that we're here is because of them. So we appreciate the continued support and all the things. But catch us up. How you been? What's on your mind?
I'm good. I'm ready to grind, man. While I'm on here, and I told the people yesterday, but while I'm on here to start off, I want to thank everybody who gave me a congratulations and a shout out for being honored by Sports Illustrated HBCU Legends. Shout out! If it wasn't for y'all, I could not do that. None of that would be happening. I don't know about being a legend. I ain't old enough to be there yet, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the honor, and I want to give everybody thanks and let everybody know that I appreciate them for all the congratulations and the pats on the back. So that means a lot to me. But I've been rocking and rolling. Trying to do this. Super Bowl is coming up. Legacy Bowl is coming up. We're gonna be covering all of that. The national championship game tonight is going on. So Southern basketball, men undefeated, women 4-1, everything going on, man. And I've been trying to be around and be relevant.
Yes. No. First of all, congrats. That's Sports Illustrated. I was a proud co-host to read that and to see all of that, the accolades. very deserving. So shout out to you for doing this work, and for taking on little people like me who coming into this space new.
Y'all, you keep me relevant. You keep me relevant.
No, but it's really exciting to see. But yeah, so I mean, I think we can just start right where you kicked us off at. Southern basketball. When we first hired Coach Johnson, people had a lot of questions. He was coming from Tulane. He was all of the things. What do you think about the basketball program and the direction of the program?
I like what I see so far. I won't lie, I'm still skeptical because we've seen this before.
Yes, we have.
And I want to see if they can finish strong. That's the most important thing. I understand that they have several key players that are injured, but they're playing through those injuries, which makes me think that this is a team that may be exceptional. And they, they have, I think it's 3 starters out or 2 starters out. And in particular, the starting point guard. And they don't know when they're going to be back, but they have been playing. It's been next man up. They have been playing well. They beat a tough Grambling team who, by the way, somebody else continue to beat Grambling to keep them out of the tournament, because I don't want to see them. I don't want to go into the tournament as a number 1 seed and then have to play Grambling as a bottom seed, because that team is not nearly as bad as their record. No. Not nearly as bad.
No, and I mean, they played us. Saturday was hot and heavy in the minute though.
Yes.
It felt like old Southern basketball. It was great, great atmosphere, great crowd. Shout out to the folks that showed up and showed out and very engaged into the game on Saturday. But to your point, I mean, Grambling, they play us tough in every sport, no matter their record. But that, to your point, is a much better team than their record indicates, and whoever has to see them.
That's right, and that's what I fear is like they'll find their rhythm at the end of the year, like teams tend to do. And that they're a talented team, and they'll get in the tournament and beat the number 1, be at the bottom and beat the number 1 seed, and then have an easy road. So I don't want that to be us, but I just hope that we can continue to play well on both ends, men and women. The women are doing what they always do. They always play well in conference, although they blew a big lead to Texas Southern, who is number 1 in the conference, undefeated. But it tells me that this team is very capable of winning the SWAC championship on the women's side. I just want to see the men continue to be consistent. We've seen this before under Sean Woods. We've seen it under Coach Johnson. Mm-hmm. They started out well, and then all of a sudden, they flounder toward the middle to the end of the season. So hopefully they can close this thing out and continue to play well.
Yeah, couple things. First thing is, I believe that the difference that I've seen in this team that feels like in years past that we had, to your point earlier around injuries, but depth, like we are playing. I mean, it's almost like a 30-man rotation. It's like consistently like changing in and out, and like we're playing like, it's almost like team A and team B. So really excited to see that. This team feels hungry. They feel like a lot like hungry. I'm getting an echo. Are you getting an echo?
No, I'm not getting it. Yeah, I am a little bit, just a little bit.
Okay, so it feels like this team is it feels different, but like to your point, we've been here before, and I hope that we can continue it through and make it happen. And Telgen, great question in the comment. I've also heard that, and I need to verify that, but that every team is now because of the reallocation of teams, or we used to do the first 8, I think it was in the SWAC.
Yeah,
but I think they did say something about all 12 teams participate. Now I think I heard that somewhere too. So that would be even more interesting. Kind of like the SEC does. Every team makes it. The top seed gets like a double bye or something like that. I think that's how they typically run the bracketing. So that could be. We'll check on that, Telgen, and have a report out for that. But I think that's something I also read, that the team is that we're doing. Multiple teams. So yeah, shout out to basketball. Shout out to them. And switching gears just a little bit, Coach. Uncle, what we talked about before you got here was the national championship tonight.
Yes.
Any thoughts about Notre Dame and Ohio State and what that game looks like?
Man, for the first time ever in my life, I'm rooting for Ohio State.
Why is that,
brother? I'm old, and I'm not that old, but I'm old enough to remember the Catholics versus the convicts. I will never, ever get over that. As far as I'm concerned, Notre Dame is just a Confederate school located in the Midwest. I don't care if the half Asian, half black brother is coaching or not. I want to see them lose every time they step on the field. I will not be rooting for them in anything. That's to put it plain and simple.
I hear you, Uncle. Well, I will be rooting for Notre Dame. I'm not old enough to remember the Catholics versus the conflicts, but
Man,
I've heard stories. But one of my really good friends, a black powerhouse here who has been a mentor to me, she's a graduate of Notre Dame, and so if anything else, I want to see them win for her. She's been through some crazy things at Notre Dame, and yeah. So and also Coach Freeman is my boy. I feel like I mean we were talking about his response earlier, Unc, and talking about whether it was softball, politically correct, and like how we navigate this.
He's always that way.
Yeah.
He's always that way. From the time he got the job, he talked about his white wife.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm just. It's Notre Dame, and I understand he's navigating a whole lot of things, and it is what it is, but I ain't got over the Catholics versus the convicts. And once you combine that with the way he moves, I don't like his movements, man. I just don't trust that brother. But that's just me. I'm sorry. That's just me. I can't root for Notre Dame. My boy Jasher, he works in Notre Dame and the development up there. A good guy, former athletic director at Lincoln, former assistant SWAT commissioner, really good dude. I got some people who are Notre Dame alums. I still can't root for Notre Dame. And I hate Ohio State. That's how much I can't root for Notre Dame. I hate Ohio State. The Luckeyes make me sick, but I will never root for Notre Dame.
The Luckeyes is absolutely insane, and I've never heard that.
Think about it. They are the luckiest team ever. They always get some kind of lucky break to end up in the championship or end up in the playoffs or something. They always get some kind of break. They're the Luckeyes, man.
Luckeyes that's a good one. I'm gonna have to put that in them back. Typically, I wouldn't root for either team either, but like I said, I'm hoping Notre Dame pulls it out. I believe that hopefully in the heart of hearts that Coach Freeman is a lot more like, on this of his blackness than anything else. And at the end of the day, I went to the first playoff game when they played Georgia, and we had a grand old time. Notre Dame Nation was really nice to me, so I'm going to continue to go for Notre Dame. If the tickets would have went down an inkling because they act like it was the day go Super Bowl, I might have been in Atlanta today. But no, I think it's going to be a good game. I think its kickoff may have started or it's getting ready to kick off very soon.
Shouts out to Alan Clark, Scotlandville alum, who's the defensive end coach for Ohio State, former coach at Southern University and at Grambling alum. He's on staff at Ohio State. Shouts out to him.
Nice. Great. So it should be a good game. We have so many things, so many topics to talk about. First of all, we're great to be back with you guys again. Thank you, Victoria, for being a first-time watcher. We hope that you love the show. Continue to like, subscribe. We have a good time here at Inside the Game. This is family. This is friends. So welcome to our show. So glad to have you here for season 2. It's season 2. Like that's yes. I'm so excited about that. Like we made it. Like we didn't get canceled in the first season.
That's right.
Here. But so many things to talk about. But one of the topics that came up a lot while we were on break, and we're gonna have to dig into a lot more of this during our next episode. But was about the transfer portal, commits, recruitment. And so the first thing I want to ask you about, how do you feel about our former quarterback, Zay T-Set, who is now a quarterback at that school up north, Grambling State University? Talk to me,
Not surprised. This isn't the first time this happened. I'm gonna take some people back. You was probably just born when this happened the last time, Melle. A big left-handed quarterback from Baton Rouge transferred to Grambling.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're the 1999 Bayou Classic, Grambling jumped out to a big lead. He was bombing our lights out.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, the band started to play. The people started to cheer. Grambling drove down the field and got inside the 5-yard line. Threw to one of the best receivers in the country. Wide open to put Grambling would have been up 38 37-10, and
And
that pretty much would have been the ball game.
He dropped the ball.
As my friend JR said, he dropped the chalupa. He dropped the ball going in the end zone, and from that moment on, Southern completely dominated Grambling. That's all I can think about when I think about another big left-handed quarterback from Baton Rouge transferring to Grambling. That man, it's going to be a miserable time losing that Bayou Classic and having to come back home.
They have to come back home. Listen, there's so many things that can. First of all, I was not just born. As a matter of fact, I was 10 years old. I have a platinum suit, shirt and pants, and I was sitting in my section. It was 31-3 after he dropped that ball. Michael Hayes caught a player, a touchdown going down the middle to make it 31-10 right before halftime. And I was
Tory Ingram. It was Tory Ingram.
Tory Ingram. Okay, yeah, Tory Ingram.
Yes.
But Michael had a yes. So he caught that touchdown, and I was the only one in my section cheering. And they was like, game over, we lose. I said, you never give up on it. We got a whole half of football. And when we won that game, I was standing up in my seat, and I was like, I told you so. So, yes, I was 10 years old, and I was at the game.
Yes.
But, yeah, so many things have come up with this thing. And I had an opportunity. Shout out to Dr. Scott, T. Stu, Christopher Peters. After we beat them in basketball Saturday, we went out and had some drinks and had a great time. Great people. Like I told
my guys.
My favorite people at my least favorite school. That's how the topic of our group chat. But we were having some conversations, and one of the things that we talked about was like this idea that like people love the story of hometown heroes. People love when people stay home and are successful. But the reality is, and this is what I think is part of the T-set situation, sometimes you have to go away from home in order to really live out into whatever your potential is.
Yes.
So people want people in that feel-good story of being home, but it's so much added pressure on not only the athlete, but everybody around him in order for him to be placed in the place to be successful. And also everybody's so proximate to him. Everybody has an idea of what success is supposed to look like because he's here. And so I actually believe that he's going to be better off at Grambling, even though they say they have a transfer coming in there from one of these Mississippi junior colleges that's like supposed to be the next rendition of Kincaid. But I wish him well. But he ain't gonna be successful against us. I just feel like we had a number.
I wish him the best. Like I don't know him very well. From what I understand, he's a very good kid. I wish him the best in his career, except for that last week in November. But my thing is, when you look at the transfer, you're transferring to a rival school, and I believe, like you talk about the hometown heroes, I believe sometimes in particular in Baton Rouge, with Southern being in the same town as LSU, a lot of young people look at Southern as the other school, so they feel like they could come to Southern and do something that they couldn't do anywhere else. They feel like they should come to Southern and get some kind of special treatment, like they should automatically get the start. And it may not be the kid, may not be the young person themselves. A lot of times it's the people in the community, the people who are surrounding them who are saying, man, you go to Southern, you can start and you could dominate and blah, 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 blah. And till the young kid, the young man or young woman starts to believe that. And then when it doesn't happen, they get discouraged.
Yeah.
And I think we see that time and time again with local kids. I'm not I hear people all the time saying we need to recruit more Baton Rouge kids. I'm not an advocate of recruiting Baton Rouge kids. I'm really not, because I understand that if they want to be at Southern, like they really want to be at Southern, I'm good with it. But what I find that with the majority of Baton Rouge kids, they come to Baton Rouge come to Southern with some kind of ulterior motive or somebody influencing them and thinking one way about Southern as opposed to just coming there because they really want to be there. They really love the school and want to contribute and grow. And I think that's why you see the difference in Baton Rouge kids who come to Southern and end up leaving or end up having a complaint. Because I know from experience, one of the biggest lies ever told in the city of Baton Rouge is if you ask a Baton Rouge kid who went somewhere else, why didn't you go to Southern? Well, Southern didn't recruit me. That's one of the biggest lies ever told in Baton Rouge. The key is Southern will come to Baton Rouge kids and say, Are you interested in coming to Southern? We'd like to have you. Nah, coach, I'm not interested in coming to Southern. But rather than say that to the public, they'll say Southern didn't recruit them. Well, you didn't allow Southern to recruit you because you told them you weren't interested.
Yeah, it's a narrative that I fought on, and then a couple times like last year, folks were talking about just the idea of like the lack of Louisiana kids, but it's like a lot of our kids, majority of them were from
60% of the kids are from Louisiana.
But also working in the school system, you get like people like kids here, like the first thing they want to talk about is leaving and moving away, and it's like we know that we don't have unlimited resources, and so sometimes it's to our disadvantage. And the reality is there's a data set of times where kids from Baton Rouge have had the game of their life against us, and people like, see, that's why. But it's really, to me, also, I believe it's a false narrative. I think that we have limited resources when it comes to recruiting, and we're not going to get every kid that plays football in Baton Rouge that's good is not coming to Southern. And so it's not necessarily always, in my opinion as well, like this bad reflection on Southern's ability to recruit locally. Because I know kids at Southern Lab who have been on campus all their life. They don't want to come to Southern. They
want to go somewhere else. They have a different experience.
And so and I think lately here, coaching, we've have a lot of local talent, and I believe that Zay got a fair chance to win this team over and to be the quarterback. Like, I don't know what happened in the locker room. I don't know what the coaches' conversations was, but from what the product that was put on the field this season, I believe that kid got a fair shot. It didn't work out, but we hope he's successful, except the last week in November. But I feel like he got a fair shot. And so I don't think this should be a narrative of Southern running kids away, et cetera. He got a fair shot and was doing well in school. Like that, they're students first.
Yes.
He was like doing well. And the chancellor was talking about how great of a student he was. And so I think he got a fair shot at Southern. It just didn't work out. And that's okay. Like, it's okay.
It really is.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. He can't say he did get a fair shot, but the narrative in the community is going to be, because I've had it, because I'm the person who gets the text when something happens. I know you get them too. What Southern do with Zay? What does Southern do? Why all the quarterbacks are leaving? It's a part of the cycle in today's world. I don't think a lot of people have caught up with what's going on with the portal, the kids being able to transfer with no penalty, all of which I am for. I'm all for that. But don't think that it's going to happen at one place and it's not going to happen at your place. It's going to happen at Southern just like it happens everywhere else. I think Coach Graves has actually done a good job in keeping most of the guys in-house. There are some guys that, that they've left. Kobe Dillon, I saw he was offered by Alabama A&M, Alcorn, and a few other schools, which, hey, good for him. But that's going to happen. But for you to me, if you can keep Kelvin Givens at Southern, you worked a miracle.
Listen, first of all, when the portal was done, or the date came and his name wasn't in there, I was like, yeah, we all right. Same thing I felt about like Vince Page, who played defense for us. Like, it was some other players who probably could have had an opportunity. And I talked to one of them after one of the games. I was like, that's what people say. And he was like, man, I'm committed to Southern. I want to be here. So there are kids who want to be there, despite the things that we sometimes negatively think about our institution. There are kids who really enjoy their experience at Southern. And the majority, I talked to the parents doing senior day. We had a brunch for them. And 90% of the complaints, 90% of the parents who were there talked about how much they loved it and have appreciated the experience. So we allow the bad things to become the narrative, but there's a counter narrative to that. And I don't think that we are as far off.
The worst thing you could talk to, the worst people you could talk to about Southern are people from Baton Rouge. I'm a Baton Rougean, and so I can say that. The worst people you could talk to about anything about Southern are people from Baton Rouge, because to people from Baton Rouge, everything about Southern is negative. And I think that's why it's good. And, as Louisiana, the truth be told, one of the jokes used to always be, you ever want to get caught in a traffic jam, get on I-10 East or I-10 West on college LSU or Southern's graduation day. Because everybody, the brain drain, everybody's headed out, going to get jobs in other places. Well, I think it's the same thing with Baton Rouge and in terms of athletics, in terms of Southern, because at Southern, it's not like at LSU where you can go to LSU and they can insulate them and take them out of the community. Southern is a part of the community. If a young guy comes from a Strum or a Scotlandville or one of the schools in the community, Southern is still a part of the African American community or a part of the community of Baton Rouge as a whole. So they're still going to be affected by things. They're still going to have those same friends. And if I was a parent and being what Baton Rouge is today, I would definitely have considered sending my son somewhere else just for them to have a different experience, for them to grow, have new friends, and just be away from Baton Rouge. I have no issue with that. The only issue I have is if you feel that way, say that. Don't act like Southern did you something wrong or Southern didn't do something to woo you, to bring you to Southern.
And I think that's, and we have one of a former high school coach who leads a youth football program currently in the baseball, all the things. He'll tell you who he is when he comes on the show, but he also Zay's biggest fan. And so, but I think that becomes the issue that bothers me the most is like that anytime someone has a negative experience with our institution, it becomes like the institution is just that bad. At the end of the day, situations are like time, proximity, place, like the reason for the season, like everybody has a time and place. And Southern is not the place for everybody. No. Southern is not going to be the place for everybody. And so with that, I would love to bring Quan on just to get a little insight about, what he, as someone who has followed Jay's career the entire time, like what do he thinks is like what the next step looks like, and then what we're on here at Southern. So shout out, thank you, Quan, for coming on.
What's up, brother?
Thank you. Y'all can hear me?
Tell the people who you are, and then tell us a little bit about Zay's time at Southern, and then what do you think is next for him at Grambling?
Y'all hear me perfect?
Yeah, we hear you. Great, perfect.
Okay, yeah. Good. So, our name is Quan. Everybody call me in 9W, call me Tremere assistant coach. So if you see him, you see me 9 times out of 10. I'm the one with the flag, waving it at the touchdowns and turnovers. So with that being said, I have my own baseball organization here in Baton Rouge, starting at 3 to 12-year-old kids. And I also am an assistant coach at a local high school.
Okay.
So with that being said, I seen Zay snaps from his first snap of high school to his last snap at Southern. I've watched every last snap. I've seen every last snap. And so with that being said, his career started off at a trajectory that was like, his first offer was Lane Kiffin to start off with. So, but things happened. He ended up at Southern. Who to say? But me personally, I think he had a fair chance as well. Like, it just didn't work. But like I said, hope he does good at Grambling. Hey, I root for him, just not by Classic.
Oh, good, because I was worried because I thought he was like can go shake.
But I wanted to comment on what Unc said about kids in Baton Rouge about school at Southern. I've been in a room with Power 5 schools or Power 4 schools, FCS schools. A lot of schools use that against local schools about the crime in Baton Rouge. I'm just gonna be flat out honest with you.
Yeah.
Like I coach a kid now who's committed to a SEC school. And when the SEC coaches came in there, they was like, man, need to get out of Baton Rouge. The crime is high. These are the people who didn't succeed. So they kind of use that against them. And like I also feel what Tremere said was, man, sometimes people get tired, bro. Them kids have been walking the campus since they was 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let me go see another campus. Let me try to go find some new friends and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I think that's what people say. And like, I also been there when Southern recruiting kids heavy. Like, I see it. We played a 7-on-7 tournament at LSU. The first team came up was Southern. Before all the other schools, all of the state schools, Southern was we do got a Grambling school coming in, but we're not worried about that. But Southern is the first one, so I agree with y'all.
Well, what I say about that, and we pretty much agree on it. My thing is, I don't have a problem. I know understand the negative recruiting. All that. My problem is with people who will say they'll know that they are not interested in Southern, and they will say that to a Southern coaching staff, I'm not interested in Southern. And then when you ask them, why they didn't go to Southern. They'll say, well, Southern didn't recruit me.
Yeah.
Instead of just telling the truth and saying, hey, I wanted to have a new experience. I wanted to get out of town and do something different.
But I'm gonna tell you one thing, that backfires too on them, because then they have no offers, and then they're like, damn, Southern.
Yeah.
So like,
and that's the thing that I think that and I think even not even just when it comes to like athletes and et cetera, like Southern is not just the plan B, C, D, or F. Like Southern really has, you could literally go to Southern and do anything that you want to, be it athletics, be it whatever. Like you just have to like have the wherewithal. So like this idea that Southern is only a backup plan is crazy to me. But I think that part of it though is like things like this, like when you have experiences or you have things like what's going on with Zay, it's not an idea of like, hey, it just didn't work out. For every 90% of the people I talk to, it's something that Southern did. And it's like, bro, the situation just didn't work out for him at Southern. That doesn't mean that the next kid from Scotlandville or the next kid from a Strum or a Central or whatever is not going to have a quality experience at Southern. It literally is about fit when you're in a student athlete and you playing in these programs. And again, he got a fair shot. It just didn't work out.
And another thing too is it's hard playing at home. Like you hear every single soul, bro, from elementary school teacher to your youth coach to your third grade math teacher. Everybody got something to say. Your friends, man, why you ain't playing? Like, so it's definitely tough for the local kids, like LSU having the same problem. Yeah. With the local kids. So like it's just not a Southern problem.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't care. We feel the team from everybody's from Montana, North Dakota, and
you need some of them.
I would like some of them.
You need some of them.
I would like some of them. I would like some Montanas and some South Dakotas and places like
them
that.
trenches.
That's right. We'd be dominating.
Exactly, and that's my point. So if everybody from the team was in Montana and we win, it doesn't make me so angry like a lot of people. Like I literally in every comment section, every time we lose a game, the reason that we do not win the game is because we don't recruit local players. When 60% of the players are from Louisiana and then 5 of the starters are from Baton Rouge, like it is just a crazy narrative. And but yeah, so that's the thing.
And another point I want to make before we get out of this conversation is just because Southern recruits and offers a player does not mean that player is going to come to Southern.
Yeah.
That they have other offers a lot of times. They can go other places. And why didn't Southern get this guy? Because they chose to go somewhere else. That's how it works sometimes. Yeah, that's fine.
And that's a key point. Herman Brister, Jr. went off to a big school. I think it was Air Force.
Air Force,
Air Force
Academy.
Came back to Southern and starting safe and had a great season, a great first season with us.
Dominoes fall.
And so feels like it's just again, it's about fit. Like we all been on jobs that we didn't work out that we thought were going to be great jobs and had to get it. I mean, it really is about fit, and I think that it's just for me, it's just the tired narrative of it's always a Southern issue. There are some things Southern can do better, absolutely, but like this whole idea that we're just running ragged, I just don't accept that. So
Yes.
All right. Well, Coin, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your insight. We will have you back to tell us more during baseball season about your organization and the fundamentals of starting baseball early. But appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you. Wealthy homie Quan.
Wealthy homie Quan is crazy. But yeah, so I think that's, thank you, Coin, for the insight. I think that me and Coin used to battle in our section often about our quarterback play at the beginning. So it's always good to hear insight from coaches who've had experience with them. We need to take care of some business before we get out of here and let folks enjoy the championship game. We have a new sponsor. So tell us about our new sponsor.
Yes, Jarvis Antoine, the Antoine Law Firm. Jarvis is a Southern University law school alum, and he practices law, criminal, personal, and family law. You can contact him at 225-383-7800. That's the Antoine Law Firm. Jarvis Antoine is a friend of the show and a supporter. So if you have any business you need to go to court, whether it be criminal, personal injury, or some family business that you need to take care of, hit up my man Jarvis Antoine at Antoine Law Firm, 637 St. Ferdinand, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 225-383-7800. It's the Antoine Law Firm, a proud sponsor of Inside the Game.
Thank you so much, attorney. We appreciate that.
That was right off the top of the dome, baby. Right off the top of the dome.
You did that. You did that, Mr. Technical Difficulties. You did that. You got it right. Also, we want to also continue to shout out our affiliate station in Alexandria. Uncle, that's your cue. Give them out. Give them out.
KTTP 1100, KTTP 1100, and Alexandria 1110. I'm sorry, I said 1100, 1110 a.m. in Alexandria, KTTP. You can listen in on Saturday mornings. I think it's from 9 to 10 that they still replay the show if you didn't get a chance to hear us live. And we are working on Shreveport and Lake Charles to bring them aboard so you'll be able to hear the show across markets. And we're going to have some big news coming up soon. We got Super Bowl. We're going to do something with the Super Bowl, and we're going to try to work on something with the Legacy Bowl, talking to HBCU Go about doing something with that. So just letting y'all know we got big things coming up inside the game. All the people who are working with us and who support us, we really appreciate you guys who are Patreons and who really get behind us. If you have a business that you want to advertise, come and talk to us at Inside the Game. You can hit Coach Melle up, hit me up, become a sponsor of Inside the Game, be a part of the action, and we'll take care of you. We are expanding, and we want you guys to grow with us. Go check out the website, Inside the Game. Go check us out on YouTube. Matter of fact, go to YouTube. Everybody go to YouTube, like and subscribe and play. Let's get our looks up at YouTube, get our likes up, subscriptions up at YouTube. We're going to drive everybody there because that's where it's at. So make sure you go to YouTube and check us out on YouTube also.
Yes, we appreciate all of that. We will obviously, our show is on Mondays at 6 o'clock. We look forward to you liking, subscribing, all the things. You're the reason why we're here for season 2. But before we get out of here, we have one last thing to chat about. The home schedule has been released for this upcoming football season. And let me tell you, it is, in my opinion, the best home slate that we've had in a long time. There is no reason why every single person should get a season book. Every single game should sell out. Between the band battles, between the action on the field, like we have the best, in my opinion, home schedule in the SWAC.
That's a monster of a home schedule, my friend. A monster of a home schedule. We open up the P. Richardson Classic against Alabama State. Then the second home game, the Jackson State game. I was speaking of this the other day, just having some conversation, and I guess that I'm going to have to go ahead and relent and start calling this game the Boombox Classic.
That's what it is, huh?
This is my logic behind not refusing to call it the Boombox Classic. Every time HBCUs have a big game, it always seems like it has to be a classic on it. Mm-hmm. This was the last game in HBCU football that was just a nasty, hate each other rivalry. It didn't have to have a classic on it. It didn't have to be anything special, but Southern and Jackson State needing to play football and the bands battling. And it also, for me, it touched the nerve because and this is an HBCU thing, and it aggravates the hell out of me that when I hear people say, well, I only came to see the bands anyway.
Yes, that's crazy.
And so, exactly, that's crazy work. But people say that, and when you put the Boombox Classic on there, that kind of plays into that.
Yeah, narrative. I get it.
So I that plays into the narrative. But being the progressive guy that I am.
Come on, Unc. I'm working on him, y'all. I'm working on him. He used to get talk about band.
and I try to stay in the groove, stay hip, And I try to be the cool uncle. And as being the cool uncle, I have to go ahead and Start calling it the Boombox Classic.
Yes. So September 27th, the Boombox Classic is in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Yes.
October 18th, homecoming against Purview. My special and favorite game of the season is October the 25th. We play FAMU, and it's my birthday. So we are going to have a tailgate extravaganza. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to finally beating FAMU. Like it feels like they've been in the swag. It's like, what are we doing? Notre Dame just scored a touchdown.
Yes, they did.
And then we close out the season November the 15th with Texas Southern at home. So that again, another rivalry that's been sort of, but now with the band thing, it's like an even bigger situation. So listen, there's no reason not to have season books.
Get your season books early. Get your season books early. I'm gonna say this: we play Prairie View for homecoming. We know that it's going to be a madhouse. Do not, if it's a 4 o'clock kickoff, do not leave your house at 2 o'clock and expect to get there on time. We know it's going to be a madhouse. It's probably going to be a bigger game than the game was last year against Alcorn, okay? So what I would suggest is leave your house in a timely manner, understand that there's going to be some traffic, and understand that you might have some issues with your cell phone. So just prepare yourself. Because I don't want to hear it this year. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about traffic. I don't want to hear about any of that, okay? So prepare yourself. It's January.
Yes.
The game is not until October. Act like it.
Yes. No, I told somebody that the other day when I posted the home schedule, I'm like, listen, you know now, like you have 7 months almost to prepare that you need to be on campus at 6 a.m. on homecoming. And it's okay. Like it's okay. It's early. But I mean, I really feel like every game this season at home should feel like homecoming because that is the best. I mean, I'm excited about it. Everybody should be bringing their band, maybe except FAMU. Like it's going to be a great atmosphere on the Bluff. And so get your season tickets. Like that's the best. 9W, we full. We are full. We are completely full, but get your tickets somewhere else. But just
get your season tickets, and that way you won't have to pay all of that exorbitant price for Bayou Classic tickets because you can get a discount Bayou Classic ticket when you get season tickets. Okay, so go get your season tickets.
Edwin, the Bayou Classic is, Purview is definitely homecoming. The home slate of games have been released. What I'm hearing, and I see somebody just ask quickly before we get out of here about the away games, they're still waiting to solidify some of the contracts for the away games. And so that's why the schedule has not been released for the away games. We do already know that August the 23rd, 4th, 3rd, we're playing in the MEAC SWAC Challenge in Atlanta. September 13th, we are playing Fresno State in Fresno, California, and then obviously the Bayou Classic. So in essence, you can fill in parts of the schedule that are not there yet.
Yeah, Edwin, what are you doing? Are you really coming on here and questioning us? I can see if you were listening to some of these other little rinky-dink shows around here. I can see if you listen to some of these other rinky-dink folks who just get on there and turn on and start talking. But are you really coming on here and questioning us about when homecoming and what we know about the schedule? Come on, bro. Reconsider that. Read some literature.
No. Edwin, homecoming is definitely October 18th. We are sure for that. Bet your last few dollars. What the song say? My last few dollars. Bet your last few dollars on that song.
Last $2.
Last $2. That is few dollars. Look at me, showing my age. No, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 1, season 2. Go ahead and watch the college football national championship. We will see you guys next Monday. For the first time in the new year, in the new season. Oh, last thing before you do your spiel, stay safe, stay warm, stay off of the street, stay off the street, stay off the street, stay off the street. If you are not like Roger or anybody else who got to be a police officer in the street, stay home. Just stay home. Just mind your business and stay home.
That's right.
But yeah, close us out here for season 2, episode 1.
Like my man Tramel said, stay inside for Flurricane 2025. Because next week, if the man upstairs says the same, we'll be back at the same time in the same place. Because as always, we'll take you inside the game.
Thank you. Go ahead.